Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Jen Sugarmeyer, your host of Mindset in the Morning. And here we are live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. But because this is YouTube, you can tune in whenever you would like. Or if you are Jen Sugarmeyer and you are in the Pacific Standard Time, it is 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, friends, but it is 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we are up and we are talking all things mindset. And the reason we talk all things mindset is because we want to make sure that we are exercising our mental muscles so that when we go out into the day, that we are prepared for everything that comes our way. You see, we can still have the world happen, be in a place where everything is chaotic and stay in peace. That's right, because you own everything about your space. You own your happiness, you own your success, you own the way that you show up every single day. And that is the only thing that you control is yourself. And when we try to control the rest of the world, when we try to control things that are outside of our space, we know that two things happen. One, you're wasting your time. Secondly, you go into a state of suffering. And when we define suffering, we talk about fear, frustration, anger, resentment, anxiety, all of these places that we don't feel good. And when we're in a state of suffering, we are not in our most productive states. We're not in our healthiest state of mind. And we make decisions that sometimes really aren't even all that rational. I mean, have you ever put your fist through a wall when you've been happy? No, you usually do these when you're angry or you're frustrated with something. You just, and then what happens? Usually there's some level of regret or you don't feel good about it. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We were talking yesterday about karma and attracting the energy that's around you. And today we're going to talk about the energy that is in your space, how to clear it out and make it more positive, because we don't want to have that negative energy that's in our space. And yes, we are attracting some of it. And yes, we know that some of it's just always going to be there. So how do we clear this out so that we're able to have more space to ourselves? I think about, so yes, I am in Vegas, and the other night we were in the club and we were on the dance floor, and I didn't enjoy, absolutely love dancing. But I didn't enjoy this dance club because there were so many people and they were just standing there on the dance floor. And I'm like, can you at least move so we're kind of all moving together? But people were just standing around. And so I'm like, do I just stand here too? It felt like I was at a concert instead of a dance floor. Like a dance floor, you're supposed to be moving. At a concert, sometimes people move, but if you're up close to the concert and everybody's just standing around looking at the singer, and that's just how it is. There's not a lot of movement because we're all packed in trying to look at the singer or the band. And so that's how we want to make sure that we are clearing ourselves of this negative energy so that we have the space to dance, the space to breathe. And I'm using that metaphorically, but you don't want to have that negativity in your space because you can't dance and be free the way that you would want to. You've got all these other people, all these other things that are tying you down, that are weighing you down. So you need to be able to remove it. So today we're going to be talking about that. But first, if you would, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to get updates on when we go live every single day, 5 days a week, go ahead and hit that bell as well. And you'll get a notification to your phone or to your laptop or whatever you use that will say, hey, we're going live on Mindset in the Morning. Just a little reminder, you need mindset. So go ahead and hit those buttons and let's get rocking and rolling. All right. First and foremost, if you are going to be removing the negativity that is in your space, you've got to take a look and you've got to get really honest with yourself. What are the things that you can remove that are weighing you down? Okay. This is a big one because there are people in your life. There are places that you may go to. There are things that you might have, people, places, things that that might have this negativity that is weighing you down. And you have to be able to first see it, acknowledge it, and then make a decision on how you're going to keep things at a distance or remove them all together. These people have energy, or these things, they all have energy. And it's like, a fire. I think about the s'mores. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you put a s'more, like a marshmallow, and you put it on the end of a stick and you go towards the fire. And what happens is you get closer to that flame. You'll start to see that the marshmallow starts to toast. Okay. And then you'll find different places you get towards like the very hottest part of where the fire is. And then all of a sudden your marshmallow, what happens to it? If you're not careful, it catches on fire. That's how I like my marshmallow. So I'm an expert at making sure that my marshmallow goes up in flames, because that's how I like to eat it. But it wasn't going to catch on fire 5 feet away, 4 feet away, 3 feet away. As I got closer to the hottest part of the ember, that's when my marshmallow said, wow, okay. And you could see it starting to brown. You could see the marshmallow starting to change. And as I got even closer and I allowed the marshmallow to just stay there, you can't just put the marshmallow close and bring it away. You have to let it stay there. All of a sudden, the marshmallow is now up in flames. And I do. I think it's delicious that way, but it's not nutritious, and this isn't going to help you in your life if you are on fire with negativity, because that is holding you down. Negativity attracts negativity. It will weigh you down. You see, if you are trying to elevate your life and you want to be in a more positive space, you want to be in a more positive state of mind, if you are surrounded by fires, then you are not going to elevate. So you've got to find what are those fires that are within your life. And I know it is not always easy, especially when it's people, that are really close to you. And there's not one answer of how things can be changed and modified. Only you can make those decisions for yourself. Let's say it is a friend. I don't know. Maybe it's time that you don't hang out with that person every single day. Start to put a little bit of distance between you two. Or maybe it's someone that you consider to be a friend of yours. And you say, you know what? I'm okay with seeing this person from time to time, like an acquaintance, but as a friend, I don't know, is this person really a friend anyway? And so it's okay to see them once a month, but not at this frequency. This can't be part of my regular tribe. So start to put some distance between you two. Or maybe it's time to just say, you know what? I've got to remove you from my life altogether, because you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. So you've got to look at those 5 people very closely and say, is this who I want to represent? Is this how I would see myself? And if you've got any one of these 5 people, hopefully, if you do, it's only just one. But if you've got multiple streams of negativity, then guess what? It is going to weigh you down from being where you want to be. If you want to be in this beautiful state of being where we know that we've got peace and clarity and flow, and we're able to think better, we're able to make our more powerful decisions in the state of being, that's where we want to be, not in negativity. And if these people in your space have negativity, then that is going to impact your ability to be in this beautiful state. So first and foremost, you've got to get honest with yourself, and you've got to look around at the people and the places and the things in your life. And is there negative energy with them? And if so, what do you need to do to create some distance, create some space, or maybe remove them altogether? So first and foremost, got to get honest, look at your space. Second thing, in order to get rid of negativity, clutter. All right, if you're just one of these people that just does not get organized, and look, it doesn't even have to be your skill set. You can bring somebody in to help you, but the clutter needs to go. I have this very powerful chapter in my first book called Minimize to Maximize. And it's all about minimizing your life in order to maximize your experience. And I will tell you, from someone that has had an entire house full of all of the things to now living in a 617 square foot apartment that has not very much, I am the happiest that I have ever been, the absolute happiest, because I don't have all of these things to take care of. And I'm not suggesting that you sell your 2,000, 3,000 square foot house, 4,000, whatever you have, and that you need to go get rid of all your belongings, and that's going to bring you peace. It might, but what I am suggesting is that if you have clutter, then start to assess those things. If you have a ton of things that are on the counter, imagine how much work, this is another metaphor, and it's also an actual situation, so I want you to really pay attention. If you have a bunch of things that are on the counter and you want to clean that counter, you can kind of clean around. You can do the lazy way and you just clean around all of those items. But what happens? Like, you're not actually cleaning. The counter doesn't get as clean as it could be because you're going around all the crap, right? Or you can remove everything and then you got to clean it. But then what do you got to do? You got to put everything back. And when you have all of this clutter, what's important? How do you know what's the important thing? You're staring at all of these things. So my point is, the more things that you have, the more work that it is. Either you're cleaning around things and you're not fully, truly cleaning the counter, or you're taking everything off, cleaning, putting it all back on. And you're looking around, and what's the most important thing? So it's hard to see what's important. It's taking up your time. It's taking up your energy. And even if these things, you're like, it's just some stuff. It doesn't matter. It's not impacting my life. It is. Because it's one more thing that you have to clean around. It's one more thing that you have to remove off of the counter to clean it. It's one more thing that is distracting you from what you want. So you have to clear your space out of all of the things that just are meaningless. And that's where you start to find the flow. You know, when you have clogged arteries, your doctor is going to want that to be flushed out, because what happens when you have clogged arteries? You're a candidate for heart attack. That's why they have triple bypass, quadruple bypass, any bypass surgery, because they are clearing out. They'll tell you, you've got to eat better. You've got to maybe drink more water. I don't know all the things, but I know you probably need to eat better. But they've got to clear that out, because if you have buildup, that is eventually going to plug up the flow. And that's exactly what clutter is in your life. It is plugging up your flow and your ability to see and just be present. So, second thing, how to get rid of negativity, I want you to be honest with yourself. And if you look around and you say, no, there's no clutter, ask someone that you trust that isn't a hoarder, that doesn't have a problem with things. Someone that you trust, and just say, look, because sometimes we can't see things. We think, no, this is perfectly normal. Other people may come into our space, and again, people that you trust, and they may say, I'm just not, I think that you've got a lot of clutter. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I think you need to get rid of stuff. So ask someone else, get their opinion. And it's just an opinion. It doesn't mean that you need to take it, but look at the clutter. All right. Third thing, get a gratitude meditation. There are so many of them. I was in sort of this negative state of being. There was this thought that came into my head, and I was working to, when thoughts come in your head, you've got to catch them and then get rid of them. That's the powerful way. Or you can just, they can come into your head and you can stew on them, and then they can take over your life, and they can take your joy and your happiness and your peace and all of the things that come with that, or you release them. And so I had this negative thought that came into my head, and I was working on releasing it. So I went on YouTube and I just Googled this gratitude meditation, and it was so beautiful. And so for 15 minutes, it was, I am grateful for my ability to follow my passion, and I'm grateful for the ability to walk down the street, and grateful for my two eyes to see, and I'm grateful that I'm here today, and all of the things that we can be grateful for. It was 15 minutes of this. And I would encourage you, more than just when you feel negative, we should be doing this all of the time. We want to be in a state of gratitude. Gratitude combats everything. When you think, man, I don't have enough, go into gratitude, and all of a sudden what you have is enough. So go into a state of gratitude if you are starting to feel negative, because that positivity is going to help push out that negativity. So gratitude is your fighter for everything. We should be practicing this every single day. When you wake up, think about, what is it that I'm grateful for today? And just follow that. Follow that trail. Just, okay, I'm grateful for this. Why? What has that allowed me to do? And just allow those thoughts to just flow in your life, and just that gratitude to move through you. You can talk about all the individual things, but also connect to why that's important, what those signify for you. I'm grateful for my eyes so that I can see, so that I can create, so that I can do, so that I can be, so that I can see, so that I can, all of these things that add value and bring you happiness in your life. Stay in that state of gratitude. And lastly, the fourth thing, in order to get rid of negativity, because that is just weighing you down. Well, we talked about yesterday that karma is a thing, and what you put out, you attract. So it's time to get honest with yourself. What are you putting out that the world is mirroring you? There are going to be people that come into your space and you say, you know what? I don't think the world is mirroring me. I think this person is negative. They just came into the office and they were just acting a certain way. And you will have those random instances because life is constantly happening. All you need to do is turn on the news and you will find negativity. But the world is also going to test you in things, in ways that you need to be tested. Maybe you have this jealous bone in your body, and so the world keeps showing you things for you to be jealous of. Maybe you have anger within you that is unresolved, and the world keeps showing you reasons to be angry. Maybe you have some level of mindset of why you are the victim. You are always the victim. Why is life always happening to me? And so the world, as you look around, you can find all of these examples of why you never get your way, why these things are always happening to you. Because the world is going to mirror your thoughts. So yes, you may have those random things that are coming into your life because you just turned the news on and it wasn't mirroring anything that you were saying. But you are also putting signals out into the world. And you've got to get real with yourself. If you are not honest, you're not getting anywhere. So you've got to get honest with yourself. Am I having negative thoughts? Where do they stem from? And when you are able to identify these things within yourself, look for patterns. It doesn't have to be something that just happens one time. Look for the patterns. Why do you always feel like the victim? Guess what? That means you've got to do some internal work to get from victim to victor. And the way you do that is by catching your thoughts and transitioning them. Things aren't always happening to me. I'm going to get into the driver's seat of my life. And I am going to learn mindset. And I am going to make more powerful decisions. And when I do, I am no longer going to be the victim. I am no longer going to hold on to that anger. That is a decision that I make. I am no longer going to be frustrated for things that I cannot control. I'm going to let them go. So if you have negativity in your life, it could be you. I will tell you from my own personal journey, that was me. And I needed to look in the mirror and do the work. Why am I getting angry? Why am I getting frustrated? Why do I allow these things that I don't control to ultimately control me? Because that person that cut you off as you were going into the office, if you allow yourself to get angry, that thing, that situation has control over you. So the way that you push back is you say, no, you don't control me. I control me. I am responsible for my happiness, and I will not allow that thing to get to me. It's just a non-issue. It's like, I'm completely neutral about it. It's not a positive, it's not a negative, it's a thing, and I don't care about it. But you are the one that has to first assess where you're at, and you need to make those mindset changes within yourself. So those are the 4 things. It is remove negative people, places, and things. I know that that can be a little complicated sometimes when it gets to people, especially if there are people close to us. So, but remove people, places, things. Clutter is going to weigh you down. Do a gratitude meditation. And last but not least, look internally. Look for the patterns of what continues to happen in your life. And guess what? That is likely the world is mirroring something within you that you need to deal with. And you need to do the internal work. You need to get your mind wrapped around how do you make small pivots in your life to make this into a more positive situation. So that's it for us today. I hope that that has impacted you in some way as you go out today, because you are the owner of your world. I want you to think about and start to notice and pay attention to all the negativity that is in your space. And maybe it is somebody that's just driving by, but maybe it is something within yourself that you need to work on, because that person driving by is going to continue to just drive by until you do the work. You will be in a perpetual negative cycle until you catch whatever it is and you get rid of it. So go out there today, go be powerful, and I will see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow. All right, you have a beautiful one. Cheers.